everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today we're going to be making, of all things, pom-poms. I had seen a tutorial on how to make pom-poms, and I designed a pom-pom making template using Stampin' Up circle dies and the banner punch. And then also I used the template is from these packs of designer paper. And you know how we keep the cardboard thinking that it's going to come into, handy for some reason? It will. It's just sturdy enough to keep our template together and also allow the dies to cut. So again, this is the backing that comes with the designer paper. And if you're like me, you probably keep this. If you don't have this, just I actually think that it would probably work using cereal boxes or some other lightweight cardstock or lightweight cardboard. So just play with your dies and see what works for you. But the backing that comes with the designer paper is perfect for these templates. Okay, let's go and cut out. I'm using the magnetic platform as well as the smallest circle from the framelit set, and it's the 5th largest one. So if you count down including the scallop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the size I have. I don't think there's any right or wrong size, guys. It's however big you want your pom-pom to be, but this is what I liked. The framelits did cut through 2 layers, so I've got both of my pieces of designer series paper backing, and make a center the inside circle as best you can, make a sandwich, and run it through the big shape. I turned the camera just a little bit so that I could run it through. Alright, so then when we get done, we're going to have this little donut shape that's made. And like I said, it will cut through both layers. What I found is that, the first layer comes out pretty good, and then the other one, if you have to kind of, encourage it just a little bit, but it will poke through both of them. And, this doesn't have to be rocket science here, guys, as far as it being exactly perfect. And then what I did is I took the smallest banner from the banner's framelit, and I want to cut out, or die cut out, a little notch here. I'm going to probably cut over where that didn't quite rip out all the way, wanting to make sure that we get a little bit of the center circle within the frame of the die. And we'll get that cut out as well. Just a little prep work, nothing too major here, to make our template. Same thing, we'll just kind of pop that out, and we get this little C shape looking template, and we've got 2 of them now cut at the same size. You can use your templates over and over again. I just wanted to show you how mine are looking, and they would still be fine. But let's use our one that we just cut. And what I did to get this little orange and white pom-pom here is I used the white and tangerine tango 2-tone trim. It's basically chunky baker's twine. It's from the 2014 holiday catalog on page 45. And I've got about 11-inch strip of the baker's twine cut. And what I want to do is anchor it onto our pom-pom base. And this is going to be what we tie the pom-pom together with. So I put a little snail to help anchor it. And putting the snail, as you can see, on like the outer sections here where it's closest to where we notched that out. Okay, so we're going to sandwich that twine. The snail, all that does is to help keep that in place a little bit. Okay, then we'll take our, just keep it on the roll. Whoops, find the end here. Okay, and the next what we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping it around our little pom-pom template. If there's any trick to it, it's to keep the tail out of the road, and the longer the tail, the more of a nuisance it is, but just kind of you know, keep it out. When it gets caught up in it, pull it out. And we're going to just keep winding and wrapping our chunky baker's twine around our template. And the more that you wrap, the fuller that the pom-pom will be. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we're going to do that. Stop there. I have, for this, I just have an old pair of scissors that I use. Just cut off the end of it. And now here's why we wanted to keep this little section here, or our little, you know, strip that we anchored down. This is going to keep our pom-pom together. So now what I want to do is I'm going to tie it. Just going to make a slip, like tie it once. And now I'm going to come in with my scissors and go in between the templates and start trimming those in half, or cutting them in half. The first couple of ones, you want to go, like just do a couple at a time until that wedge between them starts to open up. Again, I don't want to use my paper scissors for this, of course. And I do have my craft scissors, but they're just a little too big to go in there, so I just have my office scissors. Okay, so now we've got all of the pom-poms, or the loops, separated. Now I can just slide it out of my template, and I have something that looks like this. You will get some little loose ones. And so, oops, now we got to find our end. Where are you? There we go. So it's all coming out. There we go. And that's what you should have, maybe a little longer tail. But I'm going to keep that in there because you might experience that same thing. Just find your ends. Now I'm going to go ahead and really tighten it up and finish off the knot. Alright, now comes the fun part. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of fluff up this pom-pom. With the chunky baker's twine, once those ends get cut, they're easily frayed. And you just start to separate them out, and you get this really awesome looking little pom-pom that you have. So the more full that you make it, you know, the more of these little strings you'll have to take off, and you just keep playing with it. You can see how that's coming together until you get something like this. Why don't we do one more together so that you can see how it is with the yarn. So I've got a nice long strip for my tie for the black yarn using the same template that we already have used. So again, you can get multiple use out of it. And, you know, we're going to put that together like that, just like we did before. And now I'm going to take my black yarn and start wrapping it again. So again, the tail is always kind of the little issue here for me. So, you know, to get it started, I'm going to wrap a couple, pull my tail out. It seems kind of funny to say it like that. Oops, get that out of there. And maybe, oops, maybe you have a trick for doing this, but this is kind of just my way of doing it. Again, the longer the tail, the kind of gets a little bit of a labor of love to get it started. You can see that I'm, you know, just kind of coming in and under if my tail's a little long. So wrapping it around. I'll pause the video, but come back when I have this all wrapped up. Alrighty, so I've got, you know, more yarn on this little pom-pom maker. I'm gonna cut this off. And once again, we're going to just tie a knot. Now we've got some nice long string here to see it. Get it in between so that it ties and get a nice cinch on it. Okay, now get these little tails out of the road here. And again, I'm going to take my general all-purpose scissors here and start cutting away. And again, the first couple might be a little tricky. And the nice thing is with this, if you happen to cut the template a little bit, just make another one. Here's what mine has been cut a couple of times there, and it's fine. You know, it'll work good for this type of a project. So I just wanted you to see, like, you know, get your scissors in there. Separate out those loops. Now with the yarn, what you're gonna, then we'll go ahead and again, we've got all of the pom-pom loops separated and it just pulls out. So now with the nice long tail, I can see what's going on. I didn't want to waste my baker's twine, so I didn't make that big of a tail for that. Okay, so now I got, and you'll have a couple little straggle ones. Just kind of play hairdresser with it. Take your scissors and just trim up, you know, any of those loose ends. Here's another one. Kind of fluff it up, and you know, you can shape it however you'd like. So now you've got this nice long tail, and like here's another. I was playing around with some yarn that I had. I just tied it onto the barrette. You could tie it onto a headband and other things, and I can see having a lot of fun making some team colored pom-poms, or like I did here, using the chunky baker's twine and, you know, adding it to some treats. I'll be making this treat bag here on my next video, guys, so stay tuned for it or look for it in my video channel. But that's today's little craft that we have making pom-poms out of our Circle Framelit die and our banner die dies to help us make templates for our pom-poms. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.